Hello to Sandee Facy. How are you today?
Good, Ruben. Thank you for catching up with me.
Thank let me chat to you today. So, can you tell me roughly how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
Okay, so the first part, a singer, since I was about 5 and I was singing in a hairbrush, but the songwriting part came along a bit later in life.
So, have you always been a country singer?
Um, no, I've kind of crossed over through a few different genres because I've been a working muso for a few decades. So I was a cover. I did a lot of covers. I worked in different kind of configurations of bands like duos and trios and all sorts of things. And then um, when I started to write, Ruben, I wrote and I fell really comfortably into the country genre. But I have been like in my early years, I had been to Nashville and um, yeah, so it's always been, I've always loved country music. I think it's the best storytelling way to convey lived experience, I guess.
So, what was it like going into the recording studio when you recorded your debut single called "Still That Girl"?
Wow. Okay. Well, that was pretty exciting because, and nerve-wracking as well, because, with anybody that puts out a single and that was my first in 2020, March of 2020. It was really kind of daunting because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to be received. And it's a song about sort of a reflection on my childhood because I grew up in northern Michigan. I don't have an Aussie accent. I live in Australia, but I'm from Michigan originally. And that particular song is from like my childhood. I grew up in the country. Um, like in the summertime, I would go up to northern Michigan and ride my dirt bike. And I think it's a song for everybody to connect to when life gets a little bit hectic and you've got lots of responsibility, you've got a family, bills to pay, etc. And sometimes it's great to reflect back on a time when you had like zero responsibility and just enjoyed the wind in your hair. And that's what that song's about. Still that girl.
So, how long have you been living in Australia?
Coming on 20 years, Ruben. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but I live in Melbourne.
The sunny part. Guess it's all sunny in Australia.
It's chilly here, though. We get the four seasons. It's funny because I grew up in a state called Michigan, which is in the Midwest in America, and the little thing that used to always be, the token comment was always, you can get four seasons in one day. And then we moved to Australia, and I land in a city where we get four seasons in one day. Yeah.
So, can you tell me more about this? Your debut EP release. That must have been a great achievement for you.
Yeah, so the EP was titled "Still That Girl," and at that point in time, I believe it was released in about a year and a half, maybe 18 months later, and I was pretty consistent with my releases. I started writing with a song called Hummingbird, and Hummingbird was a dedication to a dear, dear friend of mine who passed away from cystic fibrosis. And once I wrote that song, which I wasn't a songwriter, like I literally just wrote a tribute to Natalie because I felt so devastated and I wanted to convey how I felt in a song. So it wasn't produced. It was just a kind of a rough draft of a song, and I sent that to them. And that song, they came back to me and they were just like, Sandee, you really have to produce the song and share it with the world. So that song ended up on the EP, as well as a couple other songs that I had released. One about a breakup that I had with my boyfriend that was called Last Time. And, everybody gets their heart. Well, maybe not everyone, but usually heartbreak is part of, a story about life. So yeah, it was exciting. The EP was really cool, and it was amazing to. That was all during lockdown. A lot of my work was done during that time period where no one did anything in Melbourne. So I did a lot of songwriting and releasing of music because it was the way to connect with people.
It must be being quite hard being a singer songwriter when it's COVID times.
Um, yeah, I think you leaned on social media. So I used to go live quite a bit and even sing with backing track, like just to connect with people to say, hey, who wants to hear I Can See Clearly Now? Like just any kind of like I wasn't only singing my originals, I was just singing to connect with people. But it also as tough as it was, I think it created space for creativity. And that's what I'd probably say about the fact that it opened up a part of me that it gave me time to kind of like reflect on things, and that's when I really, I've released 11 singles now and 2 EPs.
Guess we'll be chatting about them very soon. So, can you tell me, what's it like? The single that you released called "Best One Yet."
Wow, Ruben, have you been doing your homework on me or what? I just thought we were going to have a nice little chat. Well, I love Best One Yet. It is a song about how I met my husband, how we met, and it was funny because I co-write now with a guy by the name of good friend of mine by the name of Michael Saletta. He's originally from Sale, Victoria, which is like country Victoria, but he lives in Nashville now with his wife. And so we do a lot of co-writing. And one day, my husband walked by. He's Australian, and he said, "When are you going to write a song about me?" Well, it probably didn't sound like that. It was in an Australian accent, but he was like, "When are you going to write a song about how you and I met?" So I was like, "Great, okay, it sounds good. We're going to do that." So we wrote a song called "Best One Yet," and there's a reference to a town in like the Western states, and it's called Kadoka. And we actually went there, and it's a lyric in the song. So it was a really special song for me because I got a phone call from the Australian Songwriting Association, and I actually won songwriter. It won the song of the year, I should say, for that association. And I flew to Sydney, and I sang in front of 300 peers, other songwriters, and people that I respect. And yeah, it was just amazing. I got an opportunity to sing the song, and also was nominated. That song was nominated for Song of the Year for the. Oh, I'm gonna forget now. You're testing my memory. um, I can't remember, but anyway, at the Tamworth, sorry, at the Tamworth Festival here in Australia, which is an iconic festival. Oh, sorry, People's Choice Awards. There we go, Ruben. You probably have the notes on that. You can prompt me.
So, was it like the Tamworth Country Festival?
Oh, the Tamworth Festival is,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's a 10-day festival. It is in its 53rd year. I've been only going for a couple of years. And when I attend, it's in January. So, Ruben, when you come to visit, if you go to Tamworth, it's really, 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 really hot and it's dry. And it's a lovely, fun time because everyone is just like there's music on the streets, people are busking, there's shows everywhere. Artists are playing all over the place. And it literally goes for 10 days. It's a super long festival, and I just love it. You're surrounded by like-minded people. Everybody's having a good time, and it's super fun. And Tamworth is an awesome place.
So, can you tell me more about the single that is called "Next Heartbeat"?
Okay, so Next Heartbeat, that was released in I think it was just just a year ago. I believe. Yeah. So Next Heartbeat, where I got that idea from is my mom and dad were married for 67 years, and dad was in the Air Force, and he would write my mom a letter a day while they were away. They were separate, they weren't living in the same state. And he was on an Air Force base in San Antonio, Texas, and he would write a letter to her. And every time he'd sign the letter, your next heartbeat is me, which I thought was really cute, right?
Yeah.
So when he passed away, I took the letters from Michigan, and mom was living here with me in Melbourne, and I read the letters to her, and it was just lovely to you almost heard his voice when he was speaking. So I thought it was a good, it was a really good way to pay tribute to their beautiful relationship, and also, yeah, also tell a bit of the story. We kept real true to the era. So he used to say she's a swell girl, and that's the lyric, one of the lyrics in the song. So I kind of wanted to make sure that people could realize that it was a letter that was written. Those were letters that were written, 50 years ago or more actually. And I still have them. Mom passed in 2015, and I still have the letters. Yeah.
So, can you tell me about your latest single called Lipstick and Boots?
Oh, okay. Well, Lipstick and Boots, that's a super fun song. Thanks for asking, Ruben. So, Lipstick and Boots is a girls' night out anthem. And when I was in Nashville in August of last year, I traveled with my husband to visit my co-writer, Michael, and his um, wife, his partner. And we did some really great co-hangs at the Nashville Songwriting Association, NSAI. You basically like book out a songwriting room. And Michael invited a lovely lady along by the name of Lynn Wilbanks. So it was the first time that I had actually co-written outside of just working with Michael. So it was really great to have kind of like two women together, and having like Michael's kind of, take on things as well. And it's just, I hope you feel the same way that I do when you listen to the song and put it on repeat. I love it because it's an upbeat song, talks about how girls get ready when they're going out. They're crowding in the mirror, and they're putting on their makeup, and they're choosing their lipstick. And, it's a real sisterhood song. And quite frankly, I don't think there's any boys in it. Like, I think girls are just going out, they're hitting the dance floor, they're having a couple drinks, they think the band members are cute, but you know what? They're all just having fun together. Sisterhood.
So, are you working on any new music in the near future?
Oh, do I have music in the future? I have an album, Ruben. I have a 9-track album releasing in August. Talk about when you asked me about Still That Girl, I started to go, oh, yeah, that was pretty daunting. This is my debut album, and it's still untitled. I've, I could go the easy route and they maybe choose one of my song titles and go, yeah, that sounds good, or maybe make it self-titled. But I'm trying to dig a little bit deeper because it's a pretty important album for me. On the album, I have Ain't My First Rodeo, Lipstick and Boots, and Next Heartbeat. So those will be 3 songs that people will have heard, but everything else is brand new.
Oh, new.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So I work with Michael Carpenter. He's a fantastic producer here in Sydney, and he's been just a joy to work with. Well, I don't live in Sydney. I live in Melbourne, but every time we get an opportunity to record, um, he's fantastic.
So, we're releasing that debut full album on CD or vinyl?
Probably CD. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do the vinyl route. It's everything's pretty expensive. What my goal is really, Ruben, is to get out and play live more. Now that I have the catalog that I have, I'm able to actually play a almost two full sets of music that's all my own. Like Pinch Me, I can throw in Jolene, or I can throw in, some Linda Ronstadt or something like that. But there's nothing like sharing your own music. It's just, yeah, it's awesome. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is playing more festivals, coming to the UK. Come
That'd be good.
on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You can organize it for me.
Some very good countries getting very popular in the UK. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I know some great venues where I live. So yes, I'll have to mention them to Nadia for you.
Sounds good, Ruben. Thank you.
So can you tell you what's it like being independent artist for you?
Being an independent artist, well, it has its pros and cons. Like, I think, because at the moment, and probably continuing on for the rest of my working life, like I have a 5 day a week job, right? So the lovely part about perhaps maybe having, being signed, or having, some funding, that would take a bit of pressure off of things. Like, it wouldn't be so, everything costs money, right? The only thing that doesn't cost money is when I sit down and write the song. And then from there on, the clock starts ticking. But I do this because I love it. I absolutely love it. And I really, truly can't believe that I'm where I'm at in my life with the music that I have. So I'm really, really proud to, be part of a bigger community. I attended last year the International Singer-Songwriters Award show in Atlanta. I was a judge, and that energy at that award show, similar to Tamworth and every other place that I go that people love country music, it's just a great vibe. Really good. Really, people are really caring, and and everybody has their own story, right? Like, I don't tell a story the same way someone else would, and vice versa. And that's what I think makes it so special.
So how did you come across RTC Records and rock this country with Nadia?
Oh, Nards is amazing. So I was lucky enough to be introduced to Nardia a few years back, through a common colleague. So I have a little team here in Australia, which is really, really helpful because, there's no I in team. It takes, you have to surround yourself with really, um, passionate and, yeah, passionate people who really believe in what you're doing. So I was introduced to Nardia through a gentleman by the name of Perrin Finley Brown, and he does a lot of my, marketing. So he does my artwork. He elbows me and reminds me that I haven't had my photos taken since 2021, and maybe I should get some photos taken before, my album release. Yeah, so stuff like that. Yeah, Nardia is great.
So have you got any upcoming gigs you want to promote?
Yeah, I have two gigs this weekend. Can you make it?
Yep.
Okay. So Saturday I have, a show just local, at a place called the Park Hotel. And then on Sunday, this is really special. So this is kind of like why Tamworth is so awesome, right? When you meet other artists, independent artists, or artists just in general, you build these friendships where you get an opportunity to play shows together. So I'm actually on Sunday playing at a place called the Mantra in Yarraville that is, owned by Patsy and Dave. They're a great duo, Australian duo here, very iconic duo. And they own a venue. And I'm doing a songwriter, like a Nashville songwriter round with two, singer-songwriters that I met in Tamworth. His one guy is, named Marcus Casellas, and he's Caselles. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Sorry, Marcus. And the other, guy is Aaron Darcy. And so the three of us will do, like, we'll tell a story behind the song, we'll sing the song, then the next person, then the next person. We keep going around and around and around. There'll be drinks, and it's from 3 to 5.
So, finally, can you tell me, listeners, where can they find you on your social media?
Well, I spell my name with two E's, Ruben. So it's Sandee, and my last name is Facy, Facy. So, yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I have my own website kind of thing. So when you do reach out to me, you're communicating with me. I don't have a bot, or I don't have, I haven't hired anybody to reply to my messages. And I'm really excited. I've got a band together. We went to Tamworth this year, like I mentioned, and we're also going to the Gimpy Music Muster, which is at the end of August. So actually, Ruben, if you were going to come to Australia, um, August is not a bad month to come and visit, because it's not too hot, and it's not too, well, yeah, it can be kind of chilly, but up in Queensland, in the forest, it's called. It's a 3-day iconic festival, and my band and I are going up and playing.
Thank you for letting me chat to you today.
Thank you, Reuben. Really appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You enjoy your day too. Thank you so much for having me.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.